I was speaking with my ancient retainer, Arbuthnott. I don't believe that you have met Arbuthnott. And this is an error on my part, one which I must rectify without further delay. Arbuthnott, I always refer to him as my ancient retainer. This is because, one, he is my retainer, and two, he is undoubtedly ancient. I mean, what else does one call a man who seemeth by his plight he's old enough to have served table for the pharaohs? I mean, the man is positively mummified. I swear that were you to look closely at him, you would catch a glimpse of the bandages hanging out of the sleeve of his jacket. And if you're standing downwind, then you're certainly going to get a whiff of embalming fluid. There are also rumours below stairs, I admit, that the man has had some of his internal organs removed. Now, during the course of my life, I've come across many people who've had some of their internal organs removed. I mean, in military service, I came across many senior officers who were, by their own admission, totally gutless. But this deficiency was not seen as a career ending, and in fact, were one a product of the right school, one could be assured of promotions up to the rank of general without ever having to pick up a rifle. The pay corps is the usual route, hence the expression, the pen pusher is mightier than the sword. Well, it's something like that. Then there are politicians. Yes, I've known a number of politicians, many of whom seem to have had at least a partial lobotomy at some stage in their career, and this is a trend, and it's one that seems to be growing. And I mean, take a look at the current mob. The Memsahib and I have devised a game. The object of the game is to discover which one of the panel of Question Time is using the communal brain cell. I mean, it's no easy task. I can tell you this though, a little tip: never pick Michael Grove. Oh, well, you lot's still here. I thought you'd gone. The video's finished, the story's finished. I suppose as you're here, we can just have a little chat. Let me update you on my cancer. I'm not going to be around much longer, that's fairly certain. A couple of weeks, couple of months, I don't know, but we'll be gone soon, so you'll be rid of me. But cancer is a nasty disease, let me tell you this, and I speak from experience. At the moment, I'm absolutely bedbound. So, if you think something is not right with your body, then get off to the doctors. Don't mess around. It's not something that you can mess around with. Anything that you think is wrong, little lumps or just general ill feeling, which was my case. In my case, all I had was a few pains in my ribs. Felt like I'd been kicked by a rugby player or a mule. And I just went to the doctor and he thought he'd check it out. So they packed me off for an ultrasound, and the ultrasound came back gallstones. And we're going to have to deal with the gallstones, they said. So they sent me off to a specialist, Professor Keir, and he just thought he'd have another look because he felt there was something that might not be right. And as he said, ultrascans and x-rays don't necessarily show everything. And so we did a little bit more. We did a gastroscopy and they took some biopsies. And he said that when he finished the biopsy, he said, I think there's something here that's anomalous and it shouldn't be there. And he called my wife in and we all sat down and had a little discussion. And he said, I think you have cancer. And that was a bit of a shock, but I decided on day one that I was going to have some fun with it, as you've probably noticed. But it was a shock for my wife, and my wife still can't come to grips with the fact that that I have cancer. And we went to the hospital and took out my esophagus, which is where the cancer was, and did a few tests afterwards, and they said, "Oh, good. It doesn't look as if it's spread." A few weeks later, the mule kicks were back, and I went back and had a few more tests, and they said, "We're sorry, but I'm afraid it has spread. It's spread into the lungs, and that's not good." They told me that it was life limiting. I think that's the words they use now. They don't say you're terminal. It's life limiting. So I said, life limiting, does that mean I'm terminal? And he said, yes, I'm afraid it does. And so we got some bad news for you there. However, and this is the good thing, they said I wouldn't get through to Christmas, so I'm going to save an awful lot on Christmas presents. So I thought, what shall I do? And I had a set of T-shirts made up. One says officially gutless because they've taken out my esophagus. I've got another one which says time limited. And because I got less than a year to go, I've got one that says last trip around the sun. Quite like that one. And I've got one that I've got to print off yet. So this is for when I go into the hospice. When I go into the hospice, I've got one design that says 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The final countdown. I like wearing that one. But the best one is for when I go in the box. When I go in the box, I've got a T-shirt which simply says it's got a do they call it? One of those hammer things that auctioneers use, a gavel. It's got a gavel on it, and it simply says "going, going, gone," and that's what I'm wearing going into the box. So there you have it. Now I'll come out of character a little bit. The important thing is that you get checked. It doesn't matter how um, slight you think these things are. Little things can mean a lot, and I do mean that in a very negative sense. So anything not right with your body, like the advert says on the television, go to your GP and get it checked out. All right, guys, that's it for now. I'm hoping I'm going to be around a few more weeks, maybe a couple more months, but we'll just have to see. We'll try and keep the Thomases going. We'll keep the Colonel and various other characters going. And hopefully we'll give you a bit of a laugh. I'll say good night now.